Hi Julia Watts here, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be looking at Sentimentally Yours, the new Layered Differently dies, and I'm just going to be using the new Grandeur squares, or Grandeur square, I don't know how you say it, fill in his names. Here we go, Grandeur squares. Obviously you can mix and match these with the first collection of Layered Differently, which has a tiny bit of stock left at the moment. With this one you've got pierced rounded corner squares. You've got 2 layers and they will fit. This is designed for a 6x6 card, but obviously you can put more and more layers on and make it into a 7x7 or an 8x8 if you want to. And then, as with the previous collection, you've got kind of a roundish design in the centre, and you've got some focal pieces as well. And we are going to be using quite a few dies from this set. But to begin with, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. So we're going to be using the Floral Curios Sentiment Medallion, this big one here, which works really nicely with the circles. I'm going to do a different colour to the one that we're going to be using on the card, and this one will pop up in another card later on, probably with the other square set. But we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so going into stamping platform because it's a big stamp. I'm just using that's the only one we're using, the big one in this set. Obviously you've got lots of bits and pieces and they will coordinate with the sentiment coins, but we're going to be doing just something different as always. So we'll pop this in the centre. Doesn't matter which way up it goes because it's a circle, and we're going to pop it on there, and we are going to roll it off and roll it on just in case I've got an air bubble in that bit. My stamp is quite dry, so we'll see how we get on with it, and hopefully it's not too dirty. So I'm going to use Arctic Versafine Clair, and you will find the products we're using over on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk. There is a full list in the description of this video of what I'm using, and you will also find them over on Phil's shop, which is honeypotcrafts.co.uk. As always, I'm going to say this because we get so many inquiries after stock's gone, because stock isn't lasting very long at the moment. No matter what Phil orders, it's not lasting. So what we're doing is we're encouraging you to buy it as soon as it's out, and then you won't miss out. I know it's difficult because, you know, money isn't always available, but, you know, you don't want to be disappointed, and there's nothing worse than getting lots and lots of emails once stock's gone and I'm sorry, you know, we haven't got it. It is a big old stamp, this one. I think I've got one of these left in stock and I won't be reordering. There's always a gap. You find your points where you need to press a bit harder. I'm going to just put a little bit more ink around the centre there. These ink pads are very juicy, the new ones, the new colours. And we do want a decent image because we are keeping most of what's on the inside. We're nearly there. Come on, why aren't you stamping? It's over here. That bit there and that bit there. There we are. That'll do. So it's actually a lot darker blue than you actually think. Obviously, if you do more layers, it's going to get darker and darker. So that's our sentiment coin. As I said, this will pop up on another card at some point. And if I keep on stamping different colours, different shapes all along the line. At some point I'll stop and just make a card and not a video. So that's my sentiment medallion. I'm also going to stamp a sentiment as well from here, and I have got best wishes, so let me just have a gander. Hang on a second. Let's have something that's different from best wishes. I'm going to stamp have a lovely day, but I am using best wishes. I could just stamp both and then you'll see them. Will they fit on the little one? Yes, they will. So this is your Floral Curios Sweetheart Sentiments. I don't have it in stock anymore. It could be that Phil's got it. So best wishes is a nice small one. Make sure you leave yourself a decent space for you to cut it out. There's our best wishes. And then we are also going to stamp another one, just because we can. Because then this ink will be nice and dry. Now you do have to remember that Versafine Clair does take a while to dry. So if you're die cutting straight away, it's a good idea to clean your die, but also to put a piece of paper over the top of, you put your die on, I'll show you in a minute, and then you put a piece of copy paper or something over the top, so that when the plates push into the die to cut, they, that's my magnet on the floor, they'll push into the paper rather than into the plate, and then you won't have to clean the plate. Let's have a lovely day. Fab. Right, that's my stamping done. Let's put it on the right way, because that's going to drive you nuts otherwise. So we've got our sentiment medallion, and we've got our two sentiments there. And then, once again, this is Arctic Versafine Clair. Right, let's go back to what we're actually going to be using then now. I just wanted to show you the stamping just in case. Right, where's our die set? Our die set is here. So, working from the back up, I have got a 6x6 card, blank, well, it's not, but obviously, 6x6. Then I've cut the largest die out of Lavender Meadow. I'm sure you can guess what sort of colour we're going for. And then I've got the next size die out of pure white card, and I've embossed this with the new Ornate Circles 3D embossing folder. Absolutely amazing. And on the back it's just as lovely. So we're going to stick those two together first of all. This is super simple card. If you stamp one of the sentiment medallions, whether it be the Floral Curios, which is my favourite, or one of the others, and you can just keep on stamping it in perhaps different colours. Do remember to clean your stamp in between, because the new colours will reactivate the colour that you've used underneath beforehand. And I do actually recommend this Ranger Archival ink cleaner for getting your Versafine Clair off your stamps. It works. Just because it says archival doesn't mean it won't work with the Versafine Clair. You can also, if you're quite quick, you can run it under a tap with a nail brush, and that will get the ink off as well. So that's those. That's going to go underneath my mat as usual to keep it flat. Then let's pull in this one here and move that out of the way so it doesn't get mucky. Then you've got these dies here. So if you use this one here, you can see that will just about fit, but you will get a little bit of white outside the frame on that. And this is good for a matte anyway, so we won't use that one. We are going to use this one instead. So obviously cut it that way down, and you can see it's just inside the outside solid circle, and I have cut that out here. And the ink I used here was, I've jotted it down, let me have a look, Lilac Bloom Versafine Clair. So you can see that's cut out really nicely. I mean, you could go further in. So if we actually took this one here, so you could stack this up, you could actually use that one to cut that inner layer out. See, maybe that's what I'll do in the next one. That's quite nice, isn't it? I didn't do that. It is very nice. Didn't do that. I like that. Right, anyway. So yeah, so you can actually, you know, do other layers as well if you want to. And then you've got, so if you cut that out of that, you can then cut this out of a blue. You could cut that out of a blue. And you can see you can move them around slightly as well and make them look really cool. So yeah, this is my favourite set from the new ones. I do like this one. Anyway, so as I said, the largest but one I've cut out of that. And then the largest one I've cut out of the Lavender Meadow. So this one I've cut out of Lavender Meadow. And this will fit perfectly on here, like so. Let me hold it up to show you. Hang on, let me move it around so it's lined up-ish. Hang on, here we go. See, that fits perfectly. But what you can also do, if you wanted to, is swivel it slightly, which is really cool. Just trying to get the gap. And then you can get that, which is also really cool, isn't it? I have done another, I've got another demo with that one. So, but we are going to just slot that in there and glue it down. See, it's nice to have loads of options, isn't it? I love this set. It's my favourite. Have I said that? I might have said this is my favourite before, but it is my favourite. You wait until I do another one and that'll be my favourite. And of course you can use the rounded edge with the straight edge of the original sets. I can't remember which one it would be, either the graceful or the other one. So many different names to try and remember, but you know what I mean. It is going to build you a fantastic library of dies with the layer differently. So see if that's lined up. Yep, I'm happy with that. And I think it was one of the layered differently, so I actually stamped this for anyway. I think it was. Or it might have been charmed, I don't know. Anyway. It almost went in a homework box, but I'm glad I kept it now. Right, so then we've also got this die here. And this die, actually, if you cut this out, which I have done in Lavender Meadow, if you actually cut it, so cut it from there to there and there to there, then you make yourself 4 corners. Really cool. So that's out of that. Then this next die, this one, I cut out of the pure white card. And surprise, surprise, this one fits perfectly on top of there, because obviously they nest. And then the little hearts that come out, I've kept mine. I always do this. I kept mine, and they could go in a shaker card, or they could be an embellishment. But so I wonder what that would look like if we actually swiveled that. So we could swivel that as well. So that looks really cool like that as well, doesn't it? You can have it like that. Or you can have it like that. I'm just going to do it as it's meant. but I think it's really cool that they work both ways. Fabulous. So, oh, and obviously you can stamp a sentiment on there if you want to. If you want a bigger sentiment, we're going all in. We're using lots and lots of layers on this. As I say, it's not rocket science. You just see the dies on your sheet and use them as they're laid out on your sheet. Easy peasy. But you get a really fantastic card at the end. Now, I'm not going to add extra flowers to this. If you add extra flowers, obviously you're going to take it up a notch. But we're a bit short on flowers and it's a bit of a tease. So, and it's quicker as well. You've seen us do flowers lots. Hopefully that's lined up. Looks it to my eye. And that's going to go under here as well. Nice little store. And then finally we've got these other two layers. So we've got this layer and we've got this layer. I'm not going to use a little heart on this one. So we've got best wishes that I've cut out with the smallest one, and then you've got the next one up there. Now I like these two. I've used these two a lot with the other die sets that are in the collection there. My favourite. Do love them. Obviously you can ink around the edges if you want to. You can use your pattern papers. There's lots and lots that you can do. So we're going to pop that on there like so. And just pop it under there just for a second. Let's retrieve that. Put to one side. And now all we're going to do is bung the foam tape up on them and stack them up. Easy peasy. Now where's my scissors? There we go. Let's put that to one side for a minute. As I said, 6x6. I do love a square card. I think square cards are my favourite. I do like little A6 cards, and I am trying to wear Phil down to make us some A6 dies. So we'll see. We'll see if I manage it. It worked with the tags, so we'll see if I manage it with the A6 cards. You never know. It's A6 cards and Phil just don't. But you can't really say them in the same sentence, can you? But I know lots of you like A6. I like little A6. It'd be nice to have some layering dies to work with an A6, I think. But we'll wait and see. What am I doing? I'm trying to pull the bottom off. So we're going for a little bit of prick so we can move it if we don't get it down straight. Like so. And then let me stand up so I can see. Ornate Circles is a kind of a symmetrical pattern, I think, so you'd say, so geometric, so it doesn't really matter which way up this goes. Like so. Now let's get our other layers out. Pretty. More tape. Where's it gone? There it is. I'm just going to have 3 on here. I'm not going to go around the edges. Maybe a little bit up there. Right. Turn that round. We need a little bit down there. I could go forever like this. I'll do. Right. Okay. So now I need to decide whether I want to have, I think I will have it up top to bottom so the points go like that. done that properly? I don't know if I've got my gaps right. Who knows? That looks evenish, doesn't it? Right, then we're going to have this one. See, all I'm doing is stacking up. You have some nice ink. The lovely Lavender Meadow, which I need more of. I've nearly run out of it. I've used Lavender Meadow a lot. I think it's because we have lots of palish blues, lots of lovely blues to choose from, which are always my go-to. But we only have Purple Passion, which is a dark purple, and we have this one. Right, so we're going to have this pointing up to that, and we want it to be even on the circle. It looks fairly even, so you can use the circle there to line it up. I think it's good. I didn't put any what's it on the back of that, did I? So I can't move it anyway. That is the downfall to creating a card around a camera. It's very difficult. Let's try and remember to put this on the back of here just in case. Right, best wishes in there, like so. Yep. Then I want some pearls. What have I done with my pearls? Because I can't finish a card off without pearls, can I? I want porcelain white. And we're going to put just one in each corner, I think. Just to finish it off. And the question is, do we want an 8 or do we want a 5? That's the question. I think we might want an 8. Yeah, we're going to go for an 8. Pretty, isn't it? I need a bit more glue there because of the depth of the embossing folder. I might not touch the glue. Dries clear and matte anyway, so you're all right if there's a bit of seepage. And the last one. And I'm using the pickup tools, which are back in stock on my website. Yeah, I think we're good. Let me have a look. It needs to be up a bit, down a bit. Oh yeah. Oh, my eyes. I think we're good. There we go. I'm happy with that. Isn't that pretty? Not rocket science, really easy to achieve. 6x6 card. If you want it bigger, obviously you can put some more layers on there. But yeah, hold it up so you can see. Isn't it lovely? Okie dokie. So as I said, you'll find the new products on my website, juliewattscrafts.co.uk, if I've got any stock left, because, you know, by the time you watch this video, I might not have any left. You'll also find them over at Honeypot Crafts. The same to be said for that. If there's any stock left, it'll be there. Do like and subscribe on my YouTube channel, which is where you are now. There's lots and lots of videos for you to watch. And thank you for watching.